Every morning is an opportunity to connect with Jesus. Whether you're looking to get started or looking to grow more, DDPC is for you. Join us as we connect with Jesus together.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Daily Devotions with Pastor Chris. As always, I am your host, Pastor Chris, and this is my little blog that we do every morning, my vlog, if you will, and it's good to see you all today. As you can see, I am not at home. I am on the road, and Jeanette is traveling with me. She's doing the driving, so say hi to the people, Jeanette. And we are on our way trotting to Boston for the purpose. We are going to go see our dear friend Dave DeFelice. Dave has been in the hospital for he's been bedridden for months. Literally months, and so he's in the VA hospital in Houston, and so we're going there to just pay him a visit and to pray with him and to see our dear brother. So I know I will. A lot of times, I know he was on yesterday. I don't know if he's on this morning, but certainly offer your prayer and your support to our brother. He would very much appreciate that. So anyway, doesn't just because I'm traveling doesn't mean that we can't have our little community, and so we'll have some time with you this morning on DDPC. And so I want to just get into this morning. We are on episode 716. This is, today is September 1st. That just dawned on me. Today is the first day of September, and I know that technically summer isn't over, but from a standpoint of the vacations being over and school starting and all that, like, we're pretty much there, and it seems like the end of vacation or the end of summer, and that we are moving into fall. Today in New England, it kind of feels like a fall day. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful, and so all those kind of warm fuzzy feels are flowing through my veins. Oops, sorry. That's what happens when we just hit a bump. So anyway, so happy to have you guys on. All right, so we've been talking about how to get unstuck. We talked about this the last several days. A lot of times in life, we feel like we are just stuck. We're stuck in our situation. We're stuck in our relationship. We're stuck in our sickness. We're stuck in our job. We're stuck in a holding pattern because we're stuck in our poverty, or we're stuck in all number of different things, and so we've been I'm sorry, I'm getting very distracted by these trucks, but Jeanette's doing it. Jeanette is a fine, let me tell you. She's driven across the, I trust her 100%. No drive with in the world. Trust other drivers. That's what gets me. So anyway, I'm not used to the passenger seat, so I'm a little distracted. Okay, but here's the thing. Life has a funny habit of continually moving forward, whether you like it or not. Things happen, difficulties come, hardships we're faced, disappointments arise, hurt ensues, and yet for somehow people just keep moving on, and we end up getting stuck, and we're smoldering in our pain, or we're just kind of stewing in our circumstances, and we don't understand how everybody else just keeps on, and while we are stuck, and for the person who's stuck, that gets very frustrating, because when you are miserable, you want people to be sympathetic and empathetic and kind of want them to be miserable with you. And the truth is that it's not their duty to stay stuck with you. It's your duty to get unstuck. So thank you for the warning. That was my bump warning, and I just saved all of Instagram from going from face planting into my computer again. So there's a Christian author and speaker by the name of Elizabeth Elliot. And Elizabeth Elliot once said this. She said, "The secret is Christ in me, not me in a different set of circumstances." That is powerful. The secret is Christ in me, not me in a different set of circumstances. Because I will tell you, we can spend all of our days longing for a different set of circumstances. But what if we found contentment in our right now? What if we found peace in our right now, despite the circumstances? In whatever your life is at, whatever you're going through right now, what if you were able to find peace and you were able to find contentment in your right now? What if even in the midst of feeling stuck, you just chose to find Christ in you? You just leaned in and glorified Jesus anyway. You said, you know what, God, I know things aren't exactly the way I want them, but I have you. Not asking to take something away or to add something to the moment, just being happy and being content that you have Christ in you. And what if we just mustered up a way to exhibit thanksgiving and praise in our moment? That means truly, truly finding a way to be thankful for the day that you do have. Because, man, my friends, listen, that really is the only guarantee that you have in life, is the moment that you're in. And if you feel stuck, and if you feel broken down and tired and frustrated, maybe you're edgy or you're in pain or you're struggling, maybe it's physical pain, maybe it's emotional pain, maybe it's mental anguish, maybe you're struggling or sad or broken in your today. Just kind of stop and just say, okay, how am I going to deal with all this? Well, we've been talking about that this week, and so I want to discuss with you today is really where I should have discussion on Monday, but it's still appropriate. And I know it's going to sound elementary, but here's where you start. You start with prayer. You start with prayer. Now listen, I get it. I've been in church my whole life, and when preachers start talking about prayer, there's just something in me is like, oh yeah, I know that, and we just kind of check out. Asking you to engage here for just a minute. Don't check out. Don't check out. Listen, share your heart with the Lord about your situation. I'm not saying ask him to change it. I'm not saying ask him to take something away or to do something drastic. I'm just share your heart. If you want to get unstuck, ask him to help you get through it and maybe reveal what he's trying to show you by allowing you to go into that season. But I would suggest to you that we do this with a heart of praise and thanksgiving. Here's what Paul said in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11. He said, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I've learned to be. So take your circumstances that you're in right now, the ones that make you feel stuck, the ones that make you feel like you have lack. You might be stuck because of no fault of your own. Perhaps there's a series of coincidences that have led you into this place, or you could be stuck because of your own actions, right? Sometimes we stick ourselves. But whatever the case, let the how I got there die. Don't worry about how you got there. You're there. This is where you're at. Now, what you have to do is choose, make a decision to rejoice despite the circumstances, to be thankful despite the circumstances, to recognize that you have Christ in you despite the circumstances. Listen, there are many awful circumstances that people find themselves in. We see this all throughout Scripture. I got to be honest. We were talking about this a little bit earlier here in the car. I feel like, well, we weren't really talking about. We were talking about the decibel levels, and that they can their clicking sounds can travel up to 10,000 miles underwater, which is pretty cool. But talking about whales reminded me of Jonah, right? And talk about being stuck. I mean, Jonah was stuck. Can you imagine? Look, I don't even know how he survived being in the belly of a fish. When you look at every depiction or drawing, every drama or illustration, anything that I've ever seen that has to do about Jonah and the whale, they always show Jonah inside of the whale, sitting there with his knees up to his chest and his arms wrapped around his legs while he frowns because he's upset that he's in the belly of a big fish. And he's always got all this room around him with other fish kind of flopping around. Some of them even show a little campfire inside of the fish. But somehow I highly doubt that the journey that he was on was even that pleasant. I mean, you're talking about he is in extreme cold, saturated wet, environment. He's got pressure and slime all around him. He's got the pressure that must have been. Have you ever been in an airplane that's pressurizing, and you've had a cold and you got congestion, and you feel that pressure, or you've gone deep underwater and you feel that pressure? I mean, the guy is in the he's in the belly of a fish. Dive deep. I'm sure that he had difficulty breathing. The smell must have been, and it was like a darkness that he had never experienced before. That this would talk about being stuck. Jonah was going nowhere. And when Jonah was in the belly of the fish, he was truly stuck there. And I'm sure at first he was pretty mad at God. At first he was probably pretty upset. Maybe even shaking. Well, he probably couldn't even shake his fist, but wanting to shake his fist at God. But God was trying to get Jonah's attention. And sometimes God will allow you to get stuck so that you will to him in that situation. Look what happened in Jonah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, from Jonah prayed to the Lord his God, and he said, in my distress I called, and he answered me. From the belly of Sheol I called of help, and you heard my voice. Sheol is another name for hell. He felt like he was in hell. And he said, from the belly of Sheol I called out, and you heard my voice. Now listen, if you're not currently inside of the belly of a fish, you can still take a note from Jonah, who was physically stuck. Wherever you're at in your stuckedness, pray to the Lord your God in your distress and call on him for help. And guess what? He will answer your prayer. And that's what God did for Jonah. He ordered the fish to breach, and the fish spewed Jonah right out on the beach of the place that he wanted to go all along. And in this story is an illustration. It's a message of grace and mercy. It's a message of forgiveness and second chance and restoration. But it's also a lesson on how to get unstuck. And the number one way to get unstuck is to call upon the Lord, to pray. Show gratitude to him for the day that you're in, despite the circumstances. Be content in a situation, acknowledging that God's ways are higher than your ways, and his thoughts are greater than your thoughts. And even though it's not necessarily what you want to be doing, God is still faithful, and you have Christ in you. And because of that, you can be content in any circumstance. And man, if you walk in that, I promise you, not only Will it help you to get unstuck and look at life through a different lens and a different perspective? But it will also reveal to you the opportunity that God has positioned you for in the midst of your situation. You might be positioned in a place that nobody else could be in to minister to somebody that nobody else can. So you just never know. So listen, I would say hi to Rich and Carly Papsco and Thomas and Colette Jagoda and Rocco Baldino and Kim Zabrowski and Lozovikas and Joe Duhamel and Jesse Deemers, Laura, Ambassador for Christ, James Gore, good to see you, Eileen Toma, Melissa Moore, Scott Dobler, Janetta Dobler, Joe Duhamel, Marika, and Attila. God bless you guys. Good morning, Dad. Nice to see you. Tamara Shiavi, good to see you. Cindy Wood, my Aunt Cindy, good to see you. Sandy Downs, nice to have you on. Lauren Green, always good to see you on, Lauren. God bless you. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for joining in. Yvonne and Denise LeBlanc, good to have you guys on today. Roger Saucier, nice to see you, buddy. Michelle Rodriguez, nice to have you on, Michelle. God bless all of you. Betty Diaz and Narda Allen and John Cookson, Olesio Atialo, God bless you. Arteola, sorry. Let's see if there's anybody else on Facebook that I'm missing. You guys are Chad. Stacy Jean, nice to see you, Stacy. Tim Sikelski, nice to have you on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys. Renee Galuzzi, you on, Renee? And that, man, it's still going. You guys are awesome today. Emily Griscom, good to have you on, Emily. Great to be able to water baptize you last Sunday. Welcome. Angel Marie Canfield, praise the Lord for God. I saw that the Lord spared you on that car. So God bless you for that. The Lord is good. Lord is good. Lord is good. Let's see. Eileen, nice to see you on today. Welcome. All right. I think that's it on Facebook and YouTube. Over here on Instagram, we've got Kate Williams and Elizabeth Orlando and Anita Finkel, Tom Keefe and Samantha Endress and Melissa Urington, Janine Bainez, Athena Detlefs, yeah, right, Sandy Hams, Nancy, Dr. Desjardins, good to see you, Tanya, got Taylor, sorry, the sun is in my eyes. Hey, Cheryl Moylan joined me. What is up, Auntie Cheryl? Good to see you this morning. CB, for nice to have you. Janelle, good to see you. Michelle Allen, Elizabeth Orlando, Sarah Carlack, Diane Riley. Welcome, all of you. Welcome, Andrew Lavish. Good to see you, bud. Tell Netter to come down and meet Nugget. Nugget, you got it. Nugget's the new puppy, and I'm sure she will be down there soon. Not today, though. Kathy Lakowski, good to have you on. Heather Onofrio, nice to see you. Susan Hotchkiss, welcome. Izzy Ortiz, welcome. A. Dejar 21, nice to have you today. Welcome, welcome. God bless all of you guys. Listen, thank you so much for joining on. Man, most of you stood on for all of those hellos. I only dropped 10 people out of almost 70. So thanks for hanging on, guys. Hey, listen, love you all. Thank you for giving me this 116th episode. Thank you for being so faithful and so often. Be a blessing. Please don't forget, this is the last one for this week. Next week, beginning Monday, we start at 6:30 in the morning. Okay, 6:30. Okay, say it with me, 6:30. So we're going to be starting early next week. So please tune in. Looking forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.